you got some sort of timetable?
Yeah, an assistant nurse opened those doors at 10 minutes after 2. She was just making a routine check, and she found Nyman dead. The officers in the radio car got the alarm at 2:12. They made it here between 3 and 4 minutes later. They reported a criminal at 2:17. I got here at 2:22, called you at 2:29. You got here at 60 minutes to 3.
Right.
When he arrived, he'd been dead for half an hour at most.
Is that what the doctor said?
Oh, no, that's just what I thought. Well, because of the warmth of the body.
Ah, right.
I didn't call you because Nean was a chief inspector. I called you because... well, because of the way in which he died. The fact that he was...
Butchered?
Butchered, yeah. I mean, whoever did this must be completely insane.
It does look that way, doesn't it? I wonder what he used. Or maybe a machete or a samurai sword?
Neither. We found the weapon outside.
Well, outside where?
Well, just under the window. See?
A bayonet?
Yeah.
Are you just letting it lie there?
I thought so, yeah, till it gets light.
Okay. Do you think we can go and call on Mrs. Nean at this ungodly hour?
I suppose so.
I mean, we have to start somewhere.
Martin Beck and Einar Run drove north on Dalagarten towards Odengarten. Outside the Eastman Institute, they saw a black Volkswagen that was so badly parked, Run felt compelled to comment.
It's a no parking zone, and he's got 2 wheels on the bloody pavement.
Probably drunk.
Or a woman. Women are terrible drivers. They're not made for it. Driving, I mean.
That's a very sexist attitude, Run.
Are you serious?
Yeah. I am, yeah. What?
It was Inspector Neiman's son who answered the door.
Wait a minute, and I'll go get Mother.
Beck and Run stood in the living room and looked around. It was very neat.
Beck was beginning to feel uneasy and a little bit frightened, yet he didn't know what exactly he was frightened of. He wished that he had Colbert with him instead of Run. Unfortunately, Colbert was at home sleeping.
Run, for his part, wished only that he was at home sleeping instead of Colbert. He'd been on duty for 18 hours straight, and he was exhausted.
When Mrs. Nean came into the room, she held a small white handkerchief in one hand, and she looked as if she'd been crying.
Mother, this is,
Chief Inspector Beck.
Are you the man I spoke to on the phone?
That's right, yes. And this is Detective Run.
Hello.
Hello.
Please, sit down.
Thanks.
Why wouldn't you let me come and see him?
Well...
He is my husband, after all.
Mrs. Nean...
Yes?
Your husband didn't die of his illness. Someone came into his room and, killed him.
Killed him?
A nurse found him on the floor of his room just after 2 o'clock. Someone came in through the window and killed him with a bayonet.
Oh!
It must have happened very fast. A few seconds.
Can you think of anyone who might have done it?
No! No, sorry, no. Of course not.
Has anyone ever threatened him? Was there anyone who Inspector Nean felt might want him dead?
Absolutely not, no.
We don't want to distress you, Mrs. Nean.
We want to find whoever it is who killed your husband.
Yes, yes. Of course.
Was there anyone who hated him?
Why should anyone hate him?
Well, I don't know, but he was a policeman. And policemen, in the course of their career, well, naturally, at some point, they make enemies.
Well, not Stig. Well, at least he never said so.
Father didn't talk about his job, did he?
Not really, no.
How long had he been ill?
I don't remember exactly.
Since June last year. He had an awful pain in his stomach and he went to the doctors and they thought it was an ulcer. He's been on sick leave ever since. They couldn't find out what was wrong with him.
Father thought it was cancer.
3 weeks ago he went into hospital.
All right. Well, thank you, anyway. Stefan?
Yes?
I think the best thing would be if you could get a doctor to come over to look after your mother.
Yes. All right.
Well, it must be one of those things, mustn't it? It must be one of those random things one hears about. It doesn't have to be personal, does it? It could be just... Well, it could be anyone.
It was 7:15 a.m. on the 3rd of April 1972, a Saturday.
And Inspector Colbert was dreaming.
In his dream, his daughter Bodil was standing at an open window 5 stories above the street.
He tried to run to her, but his legs were paralyzed and she began falling slowly, as if in slow motion.
She screamed and stretched her arms out towards him.
But he couldn't reach her. He couldn't move.
He woke up to see Bodil standing beside him.
Hi.
Hi.
A little old man with a big blue nose, all dressed up in calico clothes.
Can I have a cuddle?
Yes.
Colbert arrived at Kungsholmsgatan at 8:45.
In the corridor, he met Run.
You look awful. I've been here all night. Why? Only heard.
Heard what?
About Stig Nyman.
No, what?
Well, someone sliced him up with a bayonet.
Jesus Christ.
I know.
Where's Martin?
Amanda's office.
Just heard about Stig Nyman.
Yeah.
When did it happen?
Last night, Mount Sabbath Hospital. It's all in here. Have a look.
Colbert sat down on the edge of the desk and read.
What do you think?
I think Run writes a terrible report.
Yeah, apart from that,
What did it look like?
bloody awful.
What have we got to go on?
Footprints.
That's it? Footprints?
Well, fingerprints have come back negative so far. No one saw anything, no one heard anything.
What about motive?
Well, I suppose revenge of some kind is the obvious possibility.
More like probability.
I know he wasn't a great policeman.
Martin.
Okay, right, he was a bad policeman.
He was a hell of a bad policeman. He was barbaric.
Well, I didn't really know him.
Oh, for God's sake.
What? I never worked with him.
You couldn't. You couldn't work with him. No one could. All you could do was take orders and do as you were told. Of course, if you were his superior, then you could give him orders and then have them sabotaged or completely ignored.
When did you work for him?
In the army, during the war. A lot of what I know, I learned from Stig Nyman.
Like what?
How to gouge out a pig's eyes
Really?
without the pig making a sound. Do you know how to do that?
No.
First, you cut out the tongue.
Oh.
I mean, even if for some reason all of that was necessary, he didn't have to do it with such pleasure. He actually enjoyed cruelty and he loved teaching it.
So he was a sadist?
Sadist, a bully. If we got something wrong, he used to make us choose between a report or a beating. A report meant a black mark on your record, so most of us chose a beating. On one occasion, listen to this, I had to stand to attention with a bar of soap in my mouth while he broke 2 of my ribs.
Christ.
Yeah. And afterwards, he bought me a cup of coffee. Told me I had the makings of a real soldier, a real hard man. That was him being nice.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Well, he can't have carried on like that, can he? I mean, once he became a policeman.
I don't know, Martin. Honestly, I've heard a lot of stories, a lot of rumours.
So have I, but I thought...
You thought what?
Well, that they were just that, rumours, not... But look, he must have been reported sometimes by other colleagues or whoever.
Yes, I'm sure he was. But because of this whole loyalty thing, stick together. Don't grass anyone up. I bet you won't be able to find a single report. They'll have just gone in the bin.
What about the Justice Department, the ombudsman? Someone must have lodged a complaint there.
That's very true.
I mean, even if the complaint doesn't get anywhere.
Oh, you do have your moments.
I try.
Good. Good. I'm going to go over to the hospital.
Really?
Why not?
Okay.
Okay. I just remembered.
What?
He had this, sidekick, utterly devoted, completely loyal sidekick called Holt.
Holt?
Holt, yes. He should be a captain by now. if he's still around. Somebody should talk to him.
Captain Harold Hult lived alone in a two-room flat on the second floor. It was clean and neat, and so tidy that it somehow felt desolate.
Holt himself looked to be about 60, a large, heavy-set man with expressionless grey eyes.
Sorry, do you have an ashtray?
I don't. I've never smoked. Wait a minute, I'll find you a saucer.
Nice place you've got.
Yes, I suppose it's nice. Gets a bit lonely since my wife died.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Cancer. It's been 3 years.
Right. Thanks.
So, what can I do for you?
Yes, I'm afraid Stig Nyman died last night. Did you already know that?
No, I didn't. But I knew he was ill.
What did you think of Inspector Nean?
He was a very good man.
Well, I've heard the opposite.
Who from?
Various people.
Well, in that case, those people are wrong.
But you do know, you must know that some people didn't like him or his approach.
Stig Nyman was the best commander I ever had.
Right, okay.
I don't have very much to do when I'm not at work, and I don't have very much to think about except this. 40 years in uniform in this city, and the whole time it's only been getting worse. And if there'd been more men like Stig Nyman, then things wouldn't be the way they are today. So anyone who listens to a bunch of lies about Chief Inspector Nyman, well, they needn't come running to me.
Nyman didn't die of his illness. He was murdered. And we think whoever killed him was after revenge. Who could have hated Stig Nyman enough to want to kill him?
No one. I have to go.
Go where?
To work.
I've found 7.
Sorry?
7 complaints against Nean.
Oh, right.
Do I carry on looking?
Please, if you don't mind.
Oh, I have got a hair appointment this afternoon.
Right.
You know, 'cause it's Saturday, the weekend.
Yeah, well, I won't be long.
By this time, Run was so tired that letters and words and whole lines kept flowing together or sagging or hopping out of place.
The letter in front of him was handwritten on a piece of brown paper bag, and despite the spelling mistakes and the shaky handwriting, it gave the impression of having been written with patience and industry.
To His Honour, the Justice Department Ombudsman in Stockholm. On the 2nd of February this year, I got drunk. I had my pay and bought a 5th of vodka. I remember I was sitting singing down by the Djurgård ferry, and then a police car came up and took away my bottle, which there was some left in, and dragged me away to a grey VW bus, and there was another policeman with stripes on his sleeve, and he grabbed me by the hair and hit me several times. Then they put me in a cell, and another policeman, he had a broad stripe on his sleeve, and his name was Chief Inspector Nean. He punched me in the face and kicked me in the belly.
Official remarks say...
The officer named in the complaint is Chief Inspector Stig Nyman. He knows nothing of the case. Emergency Squad Commander Lieutenant Harold Hult certifies the apprehension of the complainant, who is a notorious troublemaker and alcoholic. He is in the habit of bursting out with unfounded accusations against officers, who are then forced to take action against him.
How much longer?
What? Sorry?
How much longer are you going to be?
Yeah, I've nearly finished. Just about another 5 more minutes.
You said that half an hour ago.
The next letter was correctly addressed and neatly typed on heavy linen paper.
On the afternoon of Saturday the 14th of this month, I was on the pavements outside the entrance to number 75 Pontoniagarten, together with my 2-year-old daughter. I was just lifting her up in the air to kiss her when a police car stopped at the curb. 2 officers got out of the car, and one of them said, "What are you doing to that kid?" I explained to them that I was her father. I was then taken to the police station and held in a police cell. Then a man called Chief Inspector Nean came into the cell and punched me in the stomach. I explained again that I was the girl's father. He continued to hit me until someone came into the cell and told him that my wife had arrived. As soon as the Chief Inspector understood that I was telling the truth, he told me to go, without apologising or in any way attempting to explain his behaviour.
Report says...
Chief Inspector Nyman has no recollection of the complainant. Constables Strum and Rosenqvist claim to have apprehended the complainant on the grounds that he acted oddly and threatened the child. Nor did they notice that Chief Inspector Nyman entered the detention cell. In fact, they believe he did not. No action to be taken.
The final letter turned out to be the most interesting.
In that it was written by a policeman.
A constable, Åke Eriksson.
Run knew something about Eriksson's story.
But he couldn't remember all the details, and the letter told him nothing that he didn't already know.
How did it go?
Well, I read through the reports from Neman's last year as precinct captain, and I wrote down the names and addresses of the people who reported him for a couple of years before that.
Can I have a look?
Yeah.
You okay?
Oh, I'm so tired I could actually start crying.
I know, both of us should probably go home and go to sleep. But if we stick with it for just a bit longer, maybe we can come up with something. Something conclusive, I mean. I think it's worth the effort, that's what I'm saying.
Okay.
I just think there's maybe an urgency to the situation.
Okay.
Let's say you take the first 10 names on the list and I take the rest. Then we can probably locate most of these people and, just cross them off, if nothing else. What do you think?
Sure.
I'm sorry.
It's okay.
I really think there might be a possibility that...
What?
I don't know. No, it's nothing. We'll just get through the list.
Martin Beck lit a Florida cigarette and picked up the phone to begin working through the names.
But after 2 phone calls, a thought occurred to him.
Hello, Nean household. Stefan speaking.
Hello, Stefan. This is Inspector Beck. We met last night.
Yes. Hello.
How's your mother now?
All right. Not too bad. I mean, it wasn't entirely unexpected. The father died, I mean, not that... You know.
Do you think your mother can come to the phone?
I'm sure she can. Wait a minute.
Thank you.
As he waited for Mrs. Nean to come to the phone, he wondered why he was so nervous.
There was a feeling he couldn't seem to get rid of. A sense of danger, that something was about to happen. Something had to be warded off at any price. But he didn't know what or how.
Yes? Hello?
Hello, Mrs. Nean. I'm sorry to bother you. I just wanted to ask you one thing.
What's that?
How many people knew that your husband was in hospital?
Not many. Because Stig didn't really want people to find out. Some people knew, of course. Stig has 2 younger brothers, they knew.
What about friends?
Well, Dr. Bloomberg. We saw quite a lot of him. And then Captain Palm. My husband was in the army with him. We used to see him and his wife quite a bit.
And what about in the police department? Who did you and your husband see socially?
From the police department?
Yes.
Well, nobody.
Nobody at all?
In the 26 years Stig and I were married, no policeman ever set foot in our home.
Well, I find that quite difficult to believe.
There was one man that he talked about now and then, a man I knew he respected a great deal. His name was Holt. Actually, he phoned last night.
Did he?
He phoned and asked for my husband, and I told him that Stig was in hospital. I gave him the address because he said he wanted to send flowers.
At Mount Sabbath Hospital, Colbert was eating a Danish pastry when Larsson arrived.
Larsson was an inspector with the Violent Crime Division in Stockholm, and he would never go higher up the career ladder.
As a matter of fact, it was incredible that he hadn't already been fired.
You're allowed to eat that, innit?
I don't know.
Scene of a crime and all that?
Well, it's not like the body's still here.
Yeah, I know, but...
What do you think the murderer did after he left this room?
I've no idea.
But if you had to take a guess?
I'd say he went home and shot himself.
Really?
I don't know, I've no idea.
No, but can you think yourself into the position of this man who killed Nean and how he might have behaved afterwards?
No, I can't. How the hell could I? How do you know it was a man?
Because not many women know how to handle a carbine bayonet or wear size 12 shoes. Oh, why do you do that?
Do what?
Crack your knuckles.
Well, that's my business, isn't it?
Bloody irritating.
Good.
Are you Inspector Colbert?
Well, no, he is.
I am. Hello.
I'm Inspector Larson. Who are you?
I was Stig Neiman's doctor.
Oh, all right.
I just wanted to know a bit more about his condition.
His condition?
It's a bit late for that, isn't it?
What was wrong with him?
Well, ironically, the diagnosis was largely positive. I mean, if he were alive.
Really?
He had a cyst on his small intestine that was benign. We would have removed that. And he had a tumour on his liver. But with pain management, he should have been able to live quite comfortably for several years. He was very strong physically. He was in excellent condition.
Apart from the tumour?
Apart from the tumour.
And what kind of person was Stig Nean?
Sorry?
What's that got to do with anything?
Well, you must have an opinion about his personality.
He was complicated.
That's it? That's all you're saying?
That's all I'm saying.
Okay. Well, thank you.
Yeah, thanks.
Okay.
Why are you asking what his doctor thinks of his personality?
Because I may as well. Why not?
Because it's irrelevant.
No, it's not.
Okay. I'm off. I've done my bit.
What have you done? You haven't done anything.
And what have you done that's so marvellous? Have you caught the killer? You cracked the crime? No. You've eaten a Danish pastry.
Run. What? Holt called Neiman's wife last night and got the address of the hospital.
So?
Well, it's just a curious coincidence.
Well, what's the coincidence?
That he should call up the night that Nean was murdered.
Well, I suppose so.
I want to get hold of Holt. Ask him some more questions.
Why don't you send out a call on the radio?
That's a pretty constructive suggestion.
Well, don't look so surprised.
Sorry. I didn't, sorry.
Look, I've checked as far as I can, and I can't locate the policeman. Well, he's not a policeman anymore. He was at one point. He's called Eriksson.
Name rings a bell.
His wife died.
What?
His wife died in a police cell.
Really?
Well, that's why the name rings a bell.
What happened?
I can't remember the details, but Melander would know.
Can you call him, ask him to come down?
It's his day off.
I don't care.
But since he got promoted, he can just say no.
Tell him it's urgent. Tell him it might even be an emergency.
Really?
Yes.
You mean it might be an actual emergency? You're not just saying that to get him in?
No, I'm not just saying that to get him in.
Frederick Melander was one of the violent crime squad's few priceless resources.
He had an incredible memory.
All right, so the story of Eriksson goes like this. In 1956, he started out as a constable at Katarina Precinct. He was a pretty average policeman, not brilliant, not awful. There were no complaints about him anyway. Only one thing that distinguished him from anyone else is this. He was an excellent shot.
I remember that. I remember that now, yeah.
Okay. And, was he ever in Neiman's precinct?
Yes, 1956 to 1958. That is particularly awful coffee.
Sorry. Go on.
In 1959, Eriksson got married. A girl named Maria. She was Finnish. Her Swedish wasn't very good. Maybe that had something to do with what happened. Anyway, they had a baby. And when the baby was 18 months old, Maria died.
How did she die?
Well, she died in a cell at Neiman's precinct.
Right. Okay. How?
She was diabetic. She needed regular injections of insulin. And for some reason, on that particular day, she forgot her syringe. 2 officers from Neiman's precinct discovered her sitting on a bench and became convinced she was high or drunk. And they took her to the station. Now, according to the constables, Nean told them to put her in a cell. But then later at the hearing, they changed their story. Said Nean had never seen her. They'd acted alone. There wasn't a sound from her cell, and the guard on duty thought she was asleep. Much later, the night guard discovered she was dead.
So when someone's got diabetes, don't they carry a card or something?
Yes, they do. And Maria had a card in her handbag, but she was never searched, so the card was never found.
What did Nyman say at the hearing? What did he have to say?
Just that he'd never seen her. So the 2 constables and the guard had to take responsibility for the whole thing. They got off with a warning.
Jesus.
Yeah.
And Eriksson, how did he react to all this?
He fell apart.
What branch of the army was Eriksson in?
Artillery.
Is it the bayonet you're thinking of?
Yeah.
Because anyone can buy one of those things for 5 kroner from army surplus.
Martin Beck had never been terribly impressed with Run, but it had never occurred to him that the feeling might be mutual.
While Martin Beck was reassessing his view of Einar Run, a young constable called Christiansson was buying licorice and a newspaper from the kiosk outside Haga Terminal.
The young constable was blissfully unaware that trouble was walking towards him.
Trouble in the form of a vagabond called the Rump.
His name had been given to him for obvious reasons.
This part of his anatomy was so large it made his head, arms and legs look like afterthoughts.
He wore 2 long overcoats,
3 suit jackets,
4 pairs of trousers,
and 5 waistcoats,
which meant a good 50 pockets,
full of coins,
and never in denominations larger than 10 euro.
The last time that Christiansson and Cavant had arrested him, he had been carrying 2,231 euro pieces, 4,780 2 euro pieces, and 1 10 euro piece in 43 pockets.
Every single coin had to be counted.
The Rump adored having his coins counted.
And the search had taken 7 hours.
Constable Christiansen! Constable Christiansen! How are you, pig?
Sorry?
Are you deaf then, pig, eh?
I don't want any trouble with you today. Just be on your way, will you?
Be on me way! Be on me way! Did you hear that?
There's no need for any trouble.
Bloody bastard pig cop! Ha ha! I've insulted you.
Yes.
A man of the law.
Yes.
Before the good people of Stockholm.
Well, if you just move
No,
along,
don't
we can
put your hands on me. He's putting his hands on me. Or should I say, ha ha, trotters. Ah, you lardy fascist pig. I'll just get in the car.
No, wait. No.
What's he doing here?
He just got in the car. It's nothing to do with me.
I insulted him, I did, in front of public witnesses.
How could you be so stupid?
It's not my fault. How is this my fault?
I think you're going to have to take me down the station, aren't you, eh? You can't say I didn't cooperate.
Where do you want to go?
Well, the station, obviously. Hey, call ahead, tell him to put a coffee on.
What if I pay you?
That's bribery, that is.
In coins.
How much?
$6.50.
It's a deal. $6.50, and you have to take me to Sigtuna to the off licence.
Fine.
We can't just drop you off outside the off licence.
I know that. I'll drive him to the park a bit and he can walk the rest of the way.
Oh, Jesus.
Didn't your mother tell you not to blaspheme?
Vant turned into the park alongside the Eastman Institute. The trees were bare and the park was sad and empty.
Why are we stopping there?
You get out of here.
Me?
No, him.
Me.
I'll drive a bit further into the park, get rid of him quietly. Use your whistle if you see another patrol car.
Okay.
Pick you up outside the Eastman Institute.
Okay.
In front of the Eastman Institute was an open space with a fountain in the middle.
Next to the fountain was a black Volkswagen, parked so badly and illegally that even a policeman as lazy as Christiansson was forced to react.
He was almost at the car when he heard a short, sharp crack and felt something hit him like a hammer in the right knee. Close by in the hospital car park, Colbert said,
"What the hell? Get in the car." What? Get in the car.
Gunvald Larsson drove as fast as he could along the narrow drive between the maternity ward and the Eastman Institute.
Guided as he was by a correct assessment of direction and distance, they soon arrived at the fountain,
where a policeman lay unmoving.
Shit. Is he dead? How would I know? Looks dead.
As Larsson and Colbert got out of the car, they heard another shot.
Larsson's Chinese fur hat flew off his head and landed on the steps of the Eastman Institute.
And in 2 huge leaps he flung himself up 8 steps and pressed himself against the stone wall to the left of the entrance.
The bullet had grazed his scalp and the wound was bleeding copiously.
His new kid jacket was ruined.
Colbert, meanwhile, had thrown himself back into the car and jumped into the back seat.
He could see Gunvald Larsson flat up against the wall and apparently wounded, and he knew he had to get out of the car.
So he kicked open the right door and hurled himself out of the left.
3 shots were fired at the right door, but Colbert was already gone, grabbing the handrail and throwing himself up the steps.
Are you dying? Is that a yes or a no?
At this moment, a patrol car emerged from Vasa Park, drove right up to the fountain, and Constable Kvant got out of the car with his pistol, looking dumbfounded.
It's Kvant. So that makes the other one Christiansson.
What the hell are those 2 morons doing here?
What are they even doing in this district? Why would anyone want to shoot them?
Why does everyone want to shoot us?
Good question.
Kvant! Stop! Cover!
Where? There is no cover.
Well, he could stay in the car. Stay in the car!
You'll get shot in the car.
Well, he's got no protection whatsoever out there.
What's he doing?
Vant got to the fountain and reached out to touch Christiansson.
The 2 rifle bullets struck him less than a second apart, the first in the back of the neck.
The second between the shoulder blades.
Kvant fell on top of Christiansson. He didn't make a sound.
Jesus Christ.
Look. What? The girl. The little girl.
Wait.
No, we've got to go and get her.
Wait. Just wait.
She's going to get shot.
Just wait, will you?
Fired to get shot.
He hasn't fired. If he was going to fire, she's going to see 2 dead policemen, but she's not going to get shot. There, she's running away. She's running, she's okay.
Thank you, thank you, thank you.
Who are you thanking?
I don't know, God, probably.
Well, not me, then.
Why would I thank you?
Well, because I just saved your life. You would have run out there and got a bullet in your head.
Hello? Hello, anyone who can hear me? This area is dangerous. Please take cover. This area is dangerous.
What are you doing?
What do you think I'm doing?
Breaking and entering.
Exactly.
How old do you think this door is?
Old.
It's because you've had so much practice.
What?
Kicking doors down.
I've had a career out here.
The first thing they did was find a phone.
This is Gunvald Larsson. There's a madman in the building at Dalagatan 34. He's shooting from the roof or the top floor with an automatic weapon, and there are 2 dead constables.
One of them might be alive.
What?
One of them might be alive. What? They should know that.
One of the policemen might be alive. The fountain in front of the Eastman Institute. You need to block off Dalagatan and Vestmanagatan from Norrebantorget to Karlbergsvägen, and Odengatan from Odenplan to Sankt Eriksplan. You got that? And don't send any patrol cars to Dalagatan, and no one in uniform either. Eh? We'll assemble at...
Odenplan.
Yeah, Odenplan.
Where are you going?
Find a bandage.
He returned with the hand towel from the gents' toilets tied round his head.
You look terrific.
How come you didn't get shot?
Luck.
Yeah.
And speed. I'm like a panther.
Yeah, you're just like a panther. A fat panther.
You're not exactly skinny yourself.
What kind of gun have you got?
I haven't got a gun.
Oh, that's right, I forgot. You're a pacifist.
Well, sort of.
Well, I always thought you were a bloody idiot.
I know.
While Colbert and Larsson were being shot at in Dalagatan,
Beck and Run were drinking tea in Segeltorp.
I was just saying to my wife when we heard the car that you gentlemen made very good time.
I wasn't sure my directions were very good.
Well, it wasn't difficult to find you.
No, well, that's right. You're policemen, so you know your way around. Orca got to know the city very well.
Do you take milk, Inspector?
I'm sorry?
With your tea?
Oh, black is fine, thank you.
What about you?
Yeah. Milk, please.
Okie doke.
What time did Orca leave here last night?
Well, we don't really know, do we?
Mother and I thought he might stay the night.
It's his birthday today, so we thought he'd stay.
But he must have left after we'd gone to bed.
Does he have a car?
Yes.
What make? What colour?
Has he been in an accident?
No, it's nothing like that.
It's a black Volkswagen, quite old. I don't know the registration. Do you need the registration?
No, that's fine, thanks.
What time did you go to bed?
What time did we go to bed, dear?
Must have been about 10:30.
10:30, yes. Almost certainly about then.
Has something happened to him?
Please, do tell us if something's happened.
No, this is just routine. Honestly, just a routine inquiry.
To rule him out.
To rule him out of what?
Sorry, we're not really at liberty to say. I mean, if you could just answer a few more questions, we'll get out of your way.
Sorry.
Of course. Sorry.
No, it's okay. It's fine. Can you just tell me a bit about what he's doing at the moment, where he works, that sort of thing?
Well, he's still repairing lifts. He's been doing that for a year now.
And what was he doing before that?
Well, before then he used to drive a taxi. And before that he was a night watchman.
And when he was here last night, what did he talk about? Did he seem all right?
He didn't say much, but he never does anymore.
They took his daughter away.
I'm sorry?
They took his daughter.
Who took his daughter?
The Child Welfare Board.
Why?
We offered to take her. Of course we did. But they said we were too old. As if it was better for her to live with strangers.
When did this happen?
They came and got her the day before yesterday.
And was he very upset about this last night?
Well, he was. But he didn't talk about it. But you knew, of course. That's what it was.
They said that his depression, that's what they called it, depression, had... What was it?
An injurious effect on the child.
An injurious effect on the child.
And they wrote to his old department.
To a policeman, asking for a reference to...
His character.
His character, exactly.
And this policeman wrote some kind of letter.
Apparently it ruined his chances of keeping her.
Do you know the name of the policeman?
Inspector Nyman.
The same one who...
let his wife die.
You haven't eaten anything. There's biscuits, there's cake.
I'll have a piece of cake.
Oh, good.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Did Orca make any phone calls last night?
Phone calls?
Yes, did he call anybody at any time?
I don't know.
Orca's welcome to use the phone whenever he wants to.
Oh, we were watching television and we had the volume pretty high. So he could have made a call, I suppose, in the hallway while we were in here.
Why are you asking these questions?
Your son's a very good shot, I hear.
Oh, Orca's won a lot of trophies. We don't have any of them here, but you should see how many he has at his place.
He's still got his room here, but he keeps most of his things at his flat.
Do you know what guns he's got?
Too many. He should sell them, really. He's so short of money.
Do you know what kind of guns?
A Mauser rifle, and a pistol, Hammerley International, and...
And what?
An American automatic rifle.
Anything else?
Well, this is his old carbine from when he was in the Home Guard. I think that's still in his room upstairs. But it's no good now. Those carbines were never very handy, and now the bore is so worn down.
Would you mind if we take a look at the room?
Oh, well, I suppose that'll be all right. There's not a great deal in there.
Oh, well, it might be a bit of a mess. I haven't dusted in there this week.
Mr. Eriksson led them up a wooden staircase to an attic room.
Of course, it was nicer when he was a boy. It wasn't so shabby, and it had all his things in it. Oh, we've worked hard all our lives, and we tried to bring him up as best we could, but everything went wrong for him.
On the table was a magazine open at a crossword puzzle. Martin Beck looked down and saw that something had been written in the margins of the page. 9 names arranged in 3 groups. The first 3 were Stig Nyman, Harald Hult, Martin Beck.
Go downstairs.
What's wrong?
We'll be right down. Just give us a minute.
Oh, yes. All right.
Where does your son live?
On Dalagatan. Dalagatan 34.
What?
Look.
Jesus.
Call Strumgren or whoever the hell's there. Give them the number here and tell them to find Colbert at Mount Sabbath. Get Colbert to call us.
Okay, yeah.
Moments later, Run came running back up the stairs.
And before he'd even opened his mouth, Beck knew that the catastrophe he'd been waiting for all day had actually happened.
We could sneak out through one of the windows onto Vassar Park.
That's a 20-foot drop.
We'd only break a leg or two.
I don't want to break a leg.
Neither do I, but I don't want to get shot in the head.
Yeah, I've already been shot in the head.
It's just a grave.
Just a grave?
It is, isn't it?
Yeah, a grave from a bullet.
Ambulance is here.
The ambulance drove up to the fountain.
2 paramedics got out and loaded 2 policemen onto stretchers.
They moved calmly. The only sign of nerves was when one of them looked up towards the 9-story building on the other side of the street.
And no one was shot.
Look at that.
Look at that.
So it's definitely just policemen he doesn't like.
Yeah. I know how we can get out.
Really?
Surgical gown.
What?
Hanging on the wall.
Larson put on the largest surgical gown he could find.
It was very tight across the shoulders.
Colbert tried another one.
It was very tight across the stomach.
I think maybe it'll work.
Maybe is the word.
You ready?
Christ, we look ridiculous.
You ready?
Yes.
They walked down the steps and past the ambulance crew who had just lifted Cavant onto the first stretcher.
Colbert looked down at the dead man's face. He had once done something notable.
What was it?
Caught the man who murdered those girls. The Park murders in 1967.
That was it.
When Larsson and Colbert reached Odenplan, they found it swarming with police cars.
More and more people were arriving from every direction, but especially up out of the metro. 2 fire engines and a police helicopter completed the picture.
The new superintendent Malm was apparently in charge.
Good Lord, Larsson, you look absolutely dreadful.
Thank you, sir.
Where's Martin? I have no idea. Anyway, this case calls for a specialist.
What kind of specialist?
Specially trained operatives. I understand you've just come from the scene?
That's right.
And how would you assess the situation?
I'd say there's a crazy bastard on a roof shooting policemen with an automatic rifle.
I think part of the time he's inside a flat. Sometimes he's on the roof.
Look, can I make a suggestion?
What is it?
That we get out of here and head for the gasworks on Torsgata.
Why?
Because it'll be quiet.
And this is bloody insane.
Can helicopters land there?
In the car park.
All right. Right, gentlemen, I've had an idea. Let's regroup to the gasworks area on Torsgata.
By the time Martin Beck and Einar Run reached Torsgarten, it was 1:30, and everything seemed to be pretty well organised.
We think Eriksson.
If it's Eriksson.
We're assuming it's Eriksson.
Sounds like a fair bet.
Go on.
Well, we believe he's armed with an American Johnson automatic rifle and an ordinary Army model semi-automatic rifle, both with telescopic sights.
A Johnson automatic?
What?
It weighs less than 15 pounds. It's very easy to handle and it's as good as a machine gun.
Oh, great. That's great news. Oh, and he's got a Hammerly target pistol. It gets better and better, doesn't it?
And with the Mauser, he can hit a louse at 600 metres. With good visibility and just a little bit of luck, he can hit a man at 1,000.
All right. All right, but we don't need to worry about that now.
Don't we?
No.
Why is that then?
Because the specialists are here.
The specialists were 2 young men with comprehensive training in hand-to-hand combat and surprise attack.
Their faith in their own ability was infectious.
One of them was a redhead named Len Axelsson.
His smile had a sort of hard-won self-assurance that was very likeable.
And they both seemed brave, capable and far more intelligent than the average policeman.
The plan of attack is seductively simple.
Seductively? Shh. Seductively?
The man on the roof will first be put out of action by a concentrated rain of tear gas cartridges and grenades. Then the 2 helicopters will fly in low and set the 2 commandos down on either side of the criminal. Since he will already be incapacitated by the gas...
I still think we should take him from inside the building.
Oh, say that then.
Well, he's not going to listen to me, is he?
Can you 2 shut up?
10 minutes later, a loudspeaker van was driven through the hospital grounds.
Almost within sight of the roof.
Attention, please. This is Superintendent Malm. I don't know you, Mr. Eriksson, and you don't know me. But I can give you my word as a professional that it's all over. You are surrounded, and our resources are unlimited. You will now have 10 minutes to surrender of your own free will.
There was no response.
Gunvald Larsson was perhaps in the best position to observe what happened next.
He had gone up onto the roof on the nearby Bonnier building and was lying behind the parapet. When the tear gas started, he stood up and watched through binoculars.
The one with the red hair, Axelsson, was being lowered onto the roof from the helicopter.
2 feet from the ground, he lifted his face guard and began to put on his gas mask.
A shot was fired.
Bulletproof clothing does not, of course, protect the face. Len Axelsson was shot between the eyes.
The helicopter hovered uncertainly and then flew away with Axelsson's body swinging in the air.
For the first time, Larsson caught a glimpse of the man on the roof. A tall man in some kind of overall and a gas mask.
The man fired directly at the second helicopter with his Johnson automatic.
The helicopter swept away towards Vasa Park, wobbled and lost altitude.
There was a thunderous crash as it fell into the park and lay there for several moments before erupting into flames.
Superintendent Malm appeared to be in shock.
I'll have to ask for military assistance.
Military assistance?
What else can we do?
What can the army do?
Bomb the building.
Did you know that this is Orca Eriksson's birthday?
Hell of a way to celebrate. Why don't we set up the police orchestra in the middle of the street? Get them to play Happy Birthday. And then drop a poisonous birthday cake on the roof from the one helicopter we've got left.
Be serious, Larsson.
I am being serious.
You know, this is a one-man job.
What?
It's a job for one man.
And who's that man?
Me.
You?
Yes.
I'm afraid I can't permit that.
Well, with respect, at this stage, I don't think it's your decision to make.
Sorry, hang on a minute. Martin, how exactly did you come to this conclusion?
I just think it's the only way.
Yeah, that's not very illuminating.
How do you plan to do it?
Get into one of the flats below him and go out through a window facing the courtyard. The window under the balcony on the north, and go up with a grappling ladder.
That might actually work.
It sounds awfully risky.
Yes, it does. Martin, listen to me. You don't have to do this on your own. Do you feel guilty? Responsible? What?
Why the hell would he feel responsible?
I mean, none of this is your fault.
I know that.
No, I don't think you do. I think you feel horrifically guilty that a man like Nyman even existed on the police force, that he got away with so much, and that you did nothing to stop him. But what could you have done?
We really haven't got time for this, have we? All this psychology?
No, we don't. I just think this needs to involve as few people as possible. I mean, enough people have died.
I said we should get him from inside the building.
Yeah, you didn't say it very loudly, though, did you?
We need to get Eriksson onto the upper roof, on top of the north penthouse.
And how do we get him there?
We've got to do something to draw his attention.
If we sent a fire engine down that narrow street, he'd have to get up on the roof.
I don't want any firemen involved.
No, we can use the police that are already in firemen's uniforms.
Okay, good.
And if they stick close to the walls, he can hardly get at them.
Unless he's got a hand grenade.
I'll have to make a hell of a noise.
And you'll have to be hellish quiet.
He entered the building on Dala Garden 15 minutes later. He carried with him a light metal ladder and a shortwave radio.
During his many years as a policeman, Martin Beck had often asked himself if he was a coward, and the older he got, the more certain he was of the answer. Yes, he was a coward.
When he reached the top of the stairs, he opened the apartment door with a key that Colbert had somehow produced.
At the same time, one of the fire engines, siren wailing, swung around the corner.
He glanced round the flat and wondered for a moment who lived there.
He opened the window at the back of the building and assembled the ladder, hooking it onto the rail of the balcony 3 meters further up.
The deafening bellow of the fire engine went on through it all.
Einar Run was 500 meters away and over 20 stories above the ground.
At the top of the Bonnier building.
Run, can you hear me?
I can hear you.
What can you see?
Nothing. Still nothing.
Yes?
Now he's up there, on this side. He's lying down.
But just as Martin Beck was climbing his metal ladder,
something terrible happened.
A fuse blew in the fire engine and the siren cut out.
In the following silence, the barrel of his pistol hit the ladder with a clang.
Oh. He's standing up, Martin. Martin, he's standing up. He's standing up. Martin, he's walking over. Martin, come in. Shit.
When Beck heaved himself up to the roof, he found Eriksson waiting.
What did he have time to think about?
Only that it was too late.
A bullet struck him in the middle of the chest, like a sledgehammer.
What happened? Run! What the hell just happened? Hello, Run!
What happened?
I don't know. What can you see?
Nothing.
What did you see before?
I think I saw Eriksson. He came out to the edge of the roof. I gave Martin the signal and then...
Then what?
The siren stopped. And right after that, Eriksson stood up.
Did you see Martin?
No. Not once.
What about now?
There's no one there. No one at all.
Shit.
What? There's a man up in the church tower. He thinks maybe he can see Beck.
Really? Where?
Apparently he's lying on the north balcony overlooking the yard.
Is he alive? Is he alive?
I think so.
You think so?
He's obviously injured, but the man thinks he saw him moving.
We've got to get him down.
He should never have gone up there on his own.
You were all for it 20 minutes ago.
Okay, all right, look. You go and get Beck, and I'll go and get Eriksson.
How would you do that?
I'm going to blow the door down and storm the roof from the inside, but I'm not going to try and do it on my own.
Who are you going to take with you?
Don't worry about that. Just go and get Beck. The sooner you get him off that balcony, the sooner I can blow up the building.
Okay.
You're not really going to blow up the building, are you?
Go!
Yeah, I'm going!
Okay, gentlemen, I need 2 men. Volunteers.
Okay.
I'll go. Okay, wait a minute. Just listen. I don't want anyone who thinks it's their duty or anyone who fancies themselves a great shot and wants to impress everybody. The chances of getting killed are better than any of you can dream.
What are you talking about? Who do you want, then?
Anyone who wants to take a chance at getting shot.
What?
Anyone who thinks that might be fun.
Are you insane?
I'd like to come along.
Who are you?
My name's Holt. Harrowing Holt.
Fine, Holt, that's one.
What about me?
Who are you?
My name's Boleen.
Are you a policeman?
I'm a plumber.
Where have you come from?
I live here in the building.
Okay, that's fine,
Are
shoot.
you serious, Larson?
Can someone get him a gun?
Actually, I prefer to use my own. I'll only be a minute. It's in my flat.
Okay, be quick.
I'll be right back.
You are serious? You actually... You are... I must object. I absolutely object.
What exactly do you object to, Mum?
It's illegal to use a member of the public in an official operation.
Well then, let's call it unofficial, then we'll be fine, won't we?
Boleen was back in less than a minute, with the gun in his hand. A .22 Colt Huntsman, with a long barrel and 10 rounds in the magazine.
Fairly soon they were all set.
Okay. You two are going to take the south entrance and I'll take the north. When you've lit the fuse, run down at least 1 flight of stairs, preferably 2. Can you do that, Hull?
Yes.
Okay, good. And one more thing.
What?
If either of you two kills him up there, then whoever does it will have to answer for it later.
Even if it's in self-defense?
Even then.
As soon as Colbert entered the apartment, he saw the open window and the metal ladder hanging outside.
He thought he was prepared for the worst. But when he heaved himself up to the balcony and saw Beck lying bloody and lifeless...
Oh, Jesus. Martin. Martin, please. Oh, God, thank you. Okay, I'm gonna get you down, okay? Yeah? We'll do it together. Yeah, okay, everything's gonna be fine. Completely, totally fine.
Gunvald Larsson had 6 seconds left when he discovered that he'd committed the worst oversight of his career.
He was looking at the fuse he was supposed to light when he realized he had no matches.
Instead, he had to hold the muzzle of his gun against the fuse, pull the trigger, hope he didn't shoot himself, and then run like hell.
When the iron door lay flat on the landing where it belonged, Larsson was able to climb onto the roof.
He saw Eriksson at once, standing with his back to Larsson, his interest apparently occupied by the first explosion in the south half of the building.
Gunvald Larsson put 1 foot on the guardrail facing the street and landed on the penthouse roof. Eriksson turned his head and saw him.
The distance between them was only 12 feet. Larsson had the man in his sights and his finger on the trigger, but he didn't shoot.
Then Boleen fired.
It was a fine shot.
His view was largely blocked by Larsson, and yet he managed to put a bullet in Eriksson's left shoulder from a range of more than 60 feet.
Eriksson sank to the ground.
Then Hult slammed the flat side of his pistol into the back of Eriksson's head, and the man was knocked unconscious.
Blood began to stream from his head.
Hult lifted his gun to hit the man again.
Stop! That's enough!
What happened to you?
What do you mean?
Why didn't you shoot?
Because I couldn't.
What? Why?
I felt sorry for him. Boleen, have you got a license for that gun? A license? Have you got a license?
No.
Well, in that case...
You've been working all night long. You deserve a little break. We better get you something yummy before your tummy starts to ache. I made you some cookies. They're fresh out of the oven. You've been working so hard. You deserve a little loving. Let me get you some milk and cookies. You ain't gotta just up and leave. I know you got a lot more work to do because it's Christmas Eve. But Santa dear, my milk and cookies, they ain't like nothing you had before. I promise Santa if you just stay, you'll be begging me for more. Santa, stay a little longer. The next batch of cookies is almost done. 'Tis the season to be jolly, and we're having so much fun. You always know what I want. Yeah, you got the right stuff. I know just how you like it, and you can never get enough. Let me get you some milk and cookies. You ain't gotta just up and leave. I know you got a lot more work to do because it's Christmas Eve. But Santa dear, my milk and cookies, they ain't like nothing you had before. I promise Santa if you just stay, you'll be begging me for more.